So let's get started. Hi everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Stephanie, and today we're going to be talking about the things you should do as a newcomer to Halifax. I feel like the first most important thing that should be on your list of things that you should think about is your housing situation. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to rent an Airbnb before you get your own place, or are you going to stay in a hotel, or are you going to, like me, I stayed in residence. Are you going to stay in residence, like your school residence, or what are you going to do and how are you going to figure it out? Now, the rent in Halifax is something else, and I'm going to make another video about that. It's a situation. So one question I always get asked is, how can I get a place to stay? Where can I rent? Now, even me that I'm here, I'm looking for where to rent. So I would say two places that are very resourceful: Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace. I know I got my current place from Facebook Marketplace. It also depends on your price range. So now, most places in Halifax, if you're looking for a very good place, when I say very good place, I'm talking about you're a single person and you don't mind sharing an apartment. You're looking at anywhere from $750 to $1,000, depending on the location. You know, if you go to places like downtown Halifax, it's very, very, very expensive. You can find maybe a one-room apartment for $2,100 to $2,500. It's ridiculous. But the farther away you go from downtown Halifax, we're going to Dartmouth. Dartmouth is over the bridge, or we're going to all the way maybe to Sydney, or the farther away you go, the cheaper it is. Even though it's not rock bottom prices, but it's a bit more affordable basically. I know it's tough, but I will be making another video later talking about more in depth about the different places in the city and the different price points for the rent, and also how to navigate that and the best way to possibly approach things like that, especially if you're coming to a new city. The second thing that I think is very important for when you're coming to a new city is to get your bank account. Now, most times, one thing that was quite a culture shock for me when I came here was that you have to set an appointment with a banking a manager not a manager, but a representative, before you walk into the bank. I remember I walked in that day and the dude was like, "Did you have an appointment?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Oh, you have to set an appointment online." And I was like, "Sorry, are you telling me that I have to go and come back?" Technically, well, luckily for me, he was like, "You know what, I don't have anyone right now, I can take you." So I was able to set up my account that day. Also, do your research before you come. It's very important to do your research. You can pay, I always say this, you can pay someone to do your research for you, but no one has your own best interests at heart. So you have to do the actual research. You have to do that rigorous work. You're paying someone, but you also have to do your own part so that you're sure that you're getting the best, the very best. So before you come to any city, ask around, check online. There's so much information, which can be a lot, but if you know what you're looking for, it can be very helpful. I always depend on Reddit because I feel like the truth is always on Reddit. It's people are always more truthful and more honest on Reddit. So I would say, do your research. Okay, how many banks, what kind of account am I looking to open? How many proximity to, if I need to go deposit some money, do I have to start traveling all the way to another city? Also, what kind of for me in a city like Halifax, now you open maybe an account, it's a smaller bank, which is not a bad idea, but then what happens when you take a trip to a bigger city, or you take a trip outside of the country, outside of Canada, and you need access to some of these things and you're unable to get them because they're like, "Oh, what bank is that?" And you're like, "Oh, it's one small bank somewhere." And so it's very important. And that also takes me to my next point, which is basically getting a phone number. It's very important to get your phone number because this is how people are able to reach you. This is how people are able to have access to you. I believe that when you come to a new city, you're going to start looking for a job. You're going to have to put your phone number on your resume so people are able to contact you or send you an email, depending on which you prefer. But I feel like having a phone number is one way to start building your credit positively, because when you start paying your credit card, when you start paying your phone bill and all of that, it's kind of easier. over time your credit history is like, okay, this person is paying your phone bill on time, and you're not, absconding, or you're not doing what you're not meant to do. Which is why I would also recommend having a prepaid. Yes, is it prepaid? I think it's a prepaid plan. I'm confused. I don't know if it's prepaid or postpaid, but basically the one that allows you to, like, once you go over your limit, it stops. Because the worst is the other one, that it would just be, bro, it adds up fast here. Like, data adds up fast here. I remember one time, I think I used my data for the month, and I was trying to get added data, and I think it was like $20 for 2 gig plus tax. I cried. So data adds up fast, and you get free calls and text messages within Canada. Well, please don't try and call your friend in UK or try and call your friend in US. I don't even call my family in US, like with my normal phone. I call them with WhatsApp. So this is very important. So yeah, like I was saying, please get the prepaid bill. I think prepaid plan. I think that will be easier for you. So yes, so getting a phone number. How do you get a phone number? Okay, yes, definitely. I should get a phone number. Where do I get a phone number from? How do I get a phone number? So, like I said, you have to do your research. There are many plans, many plans, so many offerings. Everyone has, especially for new people that are going new to maybe like a new to an account, or new to a bank, or new to a phone, like a phone plan. They always have little perks. So take your time, weigh your options, do your research. We have a lot here. We have Bell, we have Rogers, we have Fido, we have I think Eastlink. I don't know if Eastlink is a phone or it's an internet provider. I don't remember. Now off the top of my head. But there are quite a bunch of them. So take your time. Pick the one that works for you, and the one that is good for your needs. Right. Most of them are basic. Like, they will offer things like basic stuff like, free calls and free text messages all over Canada. I think that's basic stuff. And then you now start doing like the really in-depth stuff, like, okay, so how much is this gig a month, how much is that a month, and then you're able to pick that. So now where do you get that service? There are so many around the city. Like, if you pick the one you wanna use, like for me now, I use Fido, and I think Fido is it's like a baby of Rogers. The reason I picked it because, like I mentioned earlier, if I ever decide to like travel out of the city, or travel to like, or go outside of maybe to another city like Vancouver or Montreal or somewhere like that, and then the next thing I'm trying to hello because you use one like random phone plan that you don't even know if it works outside of here. But Fido is like I won't say subsidiary, I'll just say it's like a subsidiary of Rogers. So it kind of gives me the confidence to know that, okay, this is a bigger company that owns like this smaller company, so it should work, hopefully. So my next point takes me to your SIN number. Very, very important. I think for a social identification number, you need to get it, because if you do get a job, you are not going to be able to get paid unless you have your social identification number. I would say that it's not something you have to get that day you come, or you can. It's usually, I know before they used to give it at the point of entry. That was pre-pandemic. I heard that you could get it done at the point. You could get your SIN number at the point of entry. However, I came in the midst of the pandemic, so I had to apply online. But then I heard that after the pandemic, they started basically giving it in person. You could go to the office and get it done there, and you get it in person. Like, you just have to go with your passport, I think, and your original study permit. That's for students. Don't share with anyone. Don't tell anyone your SIN number. It's very important. Very, very important. Only give it to like your employer, and sometimes your landlord might need it to check your credit. And now, number 5, we're going to be talking about getting a form of transportation, whether it's a bus pass or a vehicle or something. Now, like I said, I'm speaking from my personal experience, and I came in as a student, so I needed a form of like subsidized form of transportation. Now here, my school offers subsidized transportation. Now that's for we humble guys that have to do local transportation. Now there are some people that their daddies are so the ones that come and they have a car within like the first 5 weeks. People are just like, I love it for you, honestly. Like, I'm pressing towards the mark. So there's some people that do get cars, and I don't know much about cars. Another thing with regards to getting a car, if you have a driver's license from Nigeria or from whichever country, bring it. it will really help you. Like for me, it helped me get my driver's license here. So if you have a driver's license from, don't leave it. I take God beg you, don't leave it at all. It is not useless. If you can before you come, get it before you come. No matter how, it will help you. Trust me, it will help you. Even if it will help you, like you don't have to do the whole, because the driving this thing here can be a bit complicated, you know. So if you can, please get it and then bring it when you're coming. So that's all for this video. However, I have one final thing that I just want to talk about, and that is getting a job. Now this is just like a bonus. You obviously have to get a job to sustain your lifestyle. Even if your parents are sending you money as a student, just get something light so you can be leaving the house, so you can be able to socialize with other people, so that you can get a little small change to get yourself something here and there. Now getting a job search is the ghetto. It's the ghetto, bro. It doesn't. I don't know. It hasn't gotten easier for me over the years. But I do have a list of like job sites that are like really good, that have helped, that I would recommend, and I'm going to make a separate video about that, about getting a job and what you should do and how you should do that, and just things I recommend. Now also on that, most universities, if you're a student, most universities have a sort of like career counseling kind of thing where they look at your resume and make it like review it and tell you what you should add, what you should remove, and look at like Canadian style and all of that. I would recommend taking advantage of those kind of services. Like they're really good and they're really helpful. Okay, so I've been talking for a while and I'm tired. You guys have a great year, and yeah, bye.